this brings me to manifesting. And in truth, we all manifest our lives. Most of us have done it unintentionally, unwittingly. But once we realize that what we feel actually brings to us more of what we feel, we attract more of whatever we're feeling. And we can change how we feel so that we can be manifesting the lives that we would rather live rather than perhaps something that we are manifesting that's not working for us. Feeling is the power behind manifesting. Affirmations, words, intentions, plans, all of these things have power as well, but feeling has a lot more power than all of those put together. And so whatever we are feeling is what we attract, not what we're affirming or other ways that we try to change our lives. My clients are empowered to choose their emotions, and it becomes easier and easier and easier as our old triggers are released. So that when we're not triggering off of the old same baggage and being taken back to old traumas or old negative experiences, we are free to choose how we feel, which does help us to passively manifest a better life, a much more positive life experience. And there are ways that we can actively manifest the lives that we want, specific things into our lives. But that is something else I help my clients with. Okay. And I just feel so blessed to be able to share this wonderful work with my clients and to transform lives and to even help little children to let go of birth trauma so that they can actually carry on with a happy, normal life. And there's just so many things that I've been able to help people with. And I'll share a few of those client histories with you if I have time. Well, I changed the names here, of course, but I worked with Lily. She was a young woman, mother of 3, married. Her marriage was on the rocks. In fact, she'd left her husband a number of times, and she was thinking about actually getting a divorce because nothing was getting better. And so we worked together about 5 times over a few months. And she came to have a good relationship with herself finally, and that was the real issue. And when she came to be at peace with herself, love herself, enjoy her own life, she found that the whole dynamic of her family was changing. Not only was she able to develop a beautiful, intimate, loving relationship with her husband that had been eluding them for 10 years, but her children's learning disabilities and behavioral problems just disappeared. They were happy again, and it just changed the whole dynamics for her family. And note that I only worked with her. I didn't work with the family, but it changed the whole thing. And it's very important that we realize that the issues are inside. They're inside of us. We're not going to solve our problems by finding another relationship or another medication or going to another place. We have to look in here because the problems are here and the answers are here. I also worked with a little girl, I'll call her Lizzie. She had, at age 2, she was a bubbly, happy, singing, talking, highly advanced for a 2-year-old girl. And she had a lot of vaccinations all at once, and it totally changed her personality. She was morose, fussy, screaming, hollering, didn't want anyone to touch her, didn't want to cuddle, and she stopped talking. And 5 years later, I met her. Her mother brought her to me, and I worked with her 3 times. And after that, she started getting along with her siblings instead of fighting with them all the time. She started making friends in school. She actually wanted to go to school instead of crying about going to school. And she just stopped all of the crying and feeling morose, and she's just a happy child again. And I just love being able to work with children because they've got their whole future ahead of them. And it could be totally changed for the better, as it was for Lizzie. Jane was a 30-year-old woman who was reeling from a breakup and feeling worthless and definitely feeling wrong about even being alive. She was very, very hard on herself, and she also had severe PMS. Well, the PMS cleared up really fast because we just released some energies that she had trapped in her relationship with her mother, some negative energies. And she hasn't had any problem with that since, and that's a year and a half ago. And also, it took a while to unravel all of the things that made her feel worthless and always wrong. But now she is on to getting her degree, very positive about life and her future, and she's doing very, very well. I also work with men, in case you wondered. I worked with a 30-year-old man, Jake, who at age 15 kind of dropped out of society and started smoking pot. One drug led to another, and by the time I worked with him, he was addicted to meth, and he hadn't been able to get off, even though he'd been through rehab a few times. Well, he gave his mother permission to allow me to work with him because I had never met him and he didn't want to have any energy work done, but he would allow me to. So she gave me the information, his birth date, his place of birth, and his full name, and I was able to connect to him. I worked with him once a week for 8 weeks, and then his mother told me that he's going back to church now, he's totally clean, he just knows he's got it beat, and he's rebuilding his relationships with his family, trying to build those bridges that he burned. And now 2 years later, he's still clean. He's repaid his debt to society. He has a job. He's regained his privilege to drive, and he continues to rebuild, or I should say, he continues to build the life that was put on hold for 15 years. And that is my favorite story. That one touches me so deeply to know that there's hope for everybody. And I worked with Bart. His wife had had a miscarriage, and they'd lost their son. She was getting on with life, but he was just totally stuck. He just couldn't seem to cope. In fact, if anything disrupted his day or happened that he wasn't planning on, he just fell apart. He felt like he just had to go home, lay down, chill out, and get his act together. And it wasn't working. It was really impairing his life. And he came to me feeling totally out of control. We worked together once. At the end of that session, he felt that he was in control of his emotions again. And like a huge burden, like a huge cloud had just been lifted from him. And a week later, I was informed that he had gotten a promotion and a raise at work. And his wife was thrilled because she said he was the grounded, fun-loving, wonderful husband that she'd married. So I also worked with animals. I worked with one animal that had taken on her owner's negative energies when he'd gone through a rejection and divorce. And this dog had seizures, and her vet couldn't do nothing for her. And once I released these negative energies that this dog had absorbed from her master, she became the happy, bouncy little Shih Tzu she was. And she just was very happy and healthy again after that. So, and I never had any physical contact with this dog. I just connected to the dog through the owner. So, and I really, let's see, I lost my place here. Okay. I've worked with many, many clients, and I could go on and on, but I won't bore you all. So, energy medicine has totally transformed my life. I am a new person. I am thrilled to be alive. I have a wonderful life. And it is my passion and my calling to share this with as many people as I possibly can and help to transform as many lives as I possibly can. And I would be honored to help you, to help your loved ones, to help your friends. And thank you very much for hearing me out, letting me share my passion with you. Thank you.